Hey guys, it's CXE Plays with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we'll be covering the Holiday Fusion. Let's go on to this happy portal over here. Look at our, oh, not Fragment Summoning. Okay, Pixnil, another High Elf. Alright, Christmas theme, elves and all. Alright, let's start off by going over all these epics here. We're going to be using to fuse into Pixnil. Alright, Balthus, Droglord. Very cool aesthetic. Definitely really cool looking kind of Keystador undead warrior with his two shields there. Alright, let's go over his kit. A1. Attacks one enemy has a 30% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Alright, sounds good. A2. Attacks all enemies has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decrease crit rate debuff for 2 turns. Looks like when buffed up, 100% chance, so on a 3-turn cooldown. Not bad, not bad. Alright, attacks one enemy, A3, has a 75% 100 when booked placing a provoke debuff for 2 turns. Also heals this champion by 20% of their max HP. Alright, on a 4-turn cooldown, not bad at all. 100% chance when booked. Oh wow, so auto, let's get some accuracy on this one, boys and girls. Alright, and passive. We have reflects 30% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker. Oh wow. Alright. Definitely gonna bring this guy out for a spin here. And a passive aura of ally defense and faction crypts by 30%. Alright. Well, Undead Hordes is already a embarrassment of riches, but I'll test him out. Next champion. Looks like we have Outrick, the Hooded. Nice Bannerlord champion once again. Ooh, great skin, guys. Here, pulling out all the stops on this one. All right, but enough of gawking on him. Let's see here. We got an A1. Attacks one enemy. Has a 30% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 7.5%. Decreases the turn meter further by 3% for each debuff on the target. All right, interesting. And that's a 50% chance when booked. Alright, and then we have attacks one enemy has a 50% chance of removing 2 random buffs from the target before attacking. Also has a 75% chance of stealing 2 random buffs instead if the target has 4 or more buffs. Alright, I guess that's cool. Hopefully you steal the right buffs. Alright, next. Attacks all enemies has a 75% of placing a 50% decrease attack buff and a 50% decrease accuracy buff on all enemies for 2 turns. Alright, decrease accuracy, getting some more play in the game. Alright, and that's on a 4-turn cooldown. And we have an aura of ally attack and faction crypts by 29%. Alright, definitely will be a little bit usable for Bannerlords. They're kind of slim pickings on useful champions, but we'll have to test them out. You know how we do. All right, onward and upward here. Let's see here. All right, we got Gerald the Stone. All right, and another Bannerlords looks like here. Attacks one enemy, has a 15% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Oh, there's more. Has a 40% chance of placing stun debuff for 1 turn instead if the target has more than 75% turn meter. Alright, more turn meter consideration. And looks like you get an extra 10% debuff chance when booked. Alright, and A2. Places a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns, then attacks 1 enemy. Alright, definitely cool. We'll ignore 25% of the target's defense. We'll ignore 50% of the target's defense instead if the target is under an increased defense buff. Alright, well, I definitely like that, it's ignoring defense if they have an increased defense buff on. Definitely interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Huh, okay. And for his passive, immune to fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, and stun debuffs. On a 3-turn cooldown, he's an epic, so I figured there'd be some sort of cooldown or something going on there. And his aura is Increases ally resistance Doom Tower. Oh, a Doom Tower Aura. I'm sure we're going to start seeing some more of those around. And, yeah, by 50. Cool. All right, moving on, moving on. Definitely some interesting champs. Definitely some wordy champs, but they're interesting nonetheless. Definitely might be some uses out here. All right, we have Ragnar Gold Gleam. A1. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Alright, and that's up to 60 when booked. And A2, sacrifices hit points equal to 15% of this champion's max HP. Then fills this champion's turn meter by 75%. And places a shield buff on this champion equal to 20% of their max hit points for 3 turns. The shield cannot be removed. Alright, and the hit point sacrificed will happen even if it kills this champion, boo, and will ignore shield and block damage on a 3-turn cooldown. Very wordy, but interesting. Definitely interesting. A3. Place a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Cool. Then attacks one enemy. Oh, I like the buff comes out before the attack. Has a 75% of placing a 25% weaken, 101 booked. Buff on the targets for turns. Also has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff, on the targets for 2 turns before attacking. Alright, once again, before attacking. So, yeah, I like it. It's all good. 100% chance when booked. 4-turn cooldown for Gleam of Avarice. Alright, and on to the passive. Increases the cooldown on this champion's Gleam of Avarice. Ah, yes. Scaled by 1 turn every time this champion loses 15% hit points. Oh, goodness. That seems like it'll happen a lot. And there's no cooldown on that. So the hit points lost are accumulated and tracked over multiple turns, attacks, or hits, and is not affected by healing or other hit point increases. Definitely gonna have some fun experimenting with this guy. Because dwarves definitely need some love, so I'll take it, I'll take it. And then an aura of increased ally attack and Doom Tower, yet again, by 35%. Nice, alright. We're just getting right into the Doom Tower mechanics. Love it. Alright, and on to the main event, Pixnell. Alright, 2-week and 2-day fusion. This is our high elf. And let's see what she's got working for her. Okay, attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a Veil buff on a random ally for 1 turn. Cannot place the Veil buff on this champion. Okay, cool, easy to remember. Alright, places a 60% increased defense and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Then attacks all enemies under freeze debuff. Places a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns on all enemies under freeze debuff. I mean, yeah, if you freeze everybody, yeah, she's gonna do some work. On a 3-turn cooldown, that's not bad at all, actually. All right, and on her A3, attacks 5 times at random. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Has a 100% chance of placing a freeze debuff on enemies that receive 2 hits. Alright, so she's automatically going to freeze anybody she hits twice, which is pretty dope. And when booked, this is still a 50% chance of placing a freeze, so she can kind of, you know, provide most of her freeze, capability by herself. If you pair her with somebody else who's a reliable freezer, like with this Grip of Winter, you're going to be able to do some work, especially on a 3-turn cooldown. So she's got to be tested, but I don't know. I'm not feeling she's going to be that bad. Some people have been giving her some hate. I might be coming around here. All right, so passive. Whenever an enemy places a freeze debuff on an ally, has a 20% chance of stealing the freeze debuff and placing it on this champion instead. Has a 25% chance of filling this champion's turn meter by 25% every time they receive a freeze debuff. Okay. Has a 35% chance of removing any freeze debuff from this champion at the start of every turn. Okay. They just really hate Torment. They're literally always releasing champions who are like, and it negates torment. Oh, all right. Another one to the list. All right. If there are multiple champions on the team with a skill, only one activates. All right. Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. And increase ally resistance in arena battles by 80. Okay, not bad. She'll probably see some arena play. Somebody will mad scientist it. I'll have to wait until the long fusion is over and done with. So that being said, my thoughts on the fusion. I think she can be dangerous in certain situations. I don't know. We'll have to see once everything goes live with her and somebody actually takes her out for a spin. But I don't know. She might be able to lock some fools down, and that added utility of that continuous heal. Ugh, I don't know. I don't. I'm not gonna sleep on her, and I will say 99.9 times out of 100, you want to get any legendary that it's possible to get without having to summon them. Even if you have to do a little extra work, I planned for this. We have so many free resources in the game that I have, all my energy here saved. I'm gonna be doing tournaments and hopefully, knocking this stuff down. I know we have a spider dungeon tournament going on right now that I'm getting, getting work done in, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to make some progress. But that being said, hey, thank you very much for watching the video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of the new fusion. And that being said, hey, this is CXE Plays, signing out.